This religion has been sent to dominate, to wipe out, to take out every other religion, to eclipse it, to be superior to it, to have the people leave every religion and to accept Islam. And if that requires fighting to achieve it, then it requires fighting to achieve it.
Oh shit, got a knife in it. Oh shit, big bully out here. Big bully outside.
Well, I honestly think that if they're just going to do this, I think it's fine. Well, listen, I'm not going to fall into intimidation.
This is a primary school. Oh wait, it's a school with windows open. Oh wait, right now or I will call the police.
ये देखिए ये लोग लंदन के स्कूल्स वालों को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, ठीक?
The speed and the violence of the takeover of London under Islamist Sadiq Khan spreading to the UK's other biggest cities is terrifying. But perhaps what's most concerning is the failure of the regime media and the elite class to work out what's going on and why we must fight back, while also acknowledging they've spent the past decade at least getting it totally wrong on campaigners like Tommy Robinson. Our culture is being destroyed. Our women are no longer safe. And it will soon be a mirage that we are a Christian country.
Is not shy of the truth. We don't say that Islam is here to live, to coexist with lots of different religions and all of us can just hold hands and be friends. This religion was sent to dominate the world. It was sent to be superior, to extinguish the light of every other religion and to be superior to it. But we're not shy to say it, and we don't find that to be something that we should be shy to say. That this religion has been sent to dominate, to wipe out, to take out every other religion, to eclipse it, to be superior to it, to have the people leave every religion and to accept Islam. And if that requires fighting to achieve it, then it requires fighting to achieve it. Because the greatest purpose for which jihad was legislated is to make the word of Allah the highest and the word of those who disbelieve the lowest.
Tommy Robinson responded as a new report being spoken about on GB News tonight, pointing out that rape gangs are driven by Islam. It's quite frustrating that this is exactly what I've been trying to tell the world for decades. In a sorry state of affairs, as I was censored from every single British TV, radio and worldwide social media platforms, the only place I could exercise my freedom of speech was Russia, in an attempt to educate on Islamic rape jihad. And I mean, this is now something we're having to deal with. It's not the future, it is now. Look, for example, at this scene outside a London school.
From the primary school. I beg your pardon. This is a primary school. Oh wait, it's a school with windows open. Oh wait, right now or I will call the police.
ये देखिए ये लोग लंदन के स्कूल्स वालों को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? ये देखें.
And of course, a lot of this is all part of the takeover, the infiltration, as Tommy pointed out. When they're not grooming British kids for sex, they're grooming them to join their cult. Here is the evidence.
Muhammad is the last companion. Allah alone. Muhammad is the last companion.
It's the last and final.
Allah alone. I testify. Allah. I testify. Jesus, son of Mary.
Copies of the Quran?
Got the Quran?
Yeah, have a copy. You're Christian?
Catholic.
You believe in Jesus?
Catholic.
You believe in Jesus? We also believe in Jesus. Did you know that?
I got Quran.
Muslims, it talks about Jesus.
Did I?
Yeah, look, if you look at the 19th chapter of the Quran, it's actually called Mary. Here, say look, Mary. Surah, that means chapter, Mary.
Who do you believe?
So we believe in the one true God, the God of Jesus. We believe that Jesus was a prophet of God.
Jesus is son.
Is the son of God, like the physical God, son of God, or someone who's just righteous?
God made him born.
Yeah, but it's like a prophet, though, you believe, no?
We believe that he's a prophet, like Moses, like Abraham, like Noah. They all had the same message: worship God alone. None of them said worship Jesus, right? even when Jesus, he was praying, who was he praying to? God, right? So this is what Islam teaches. Take a copy. Take a copy, have a read. Take care. Alhamdulillah. As you can see, young guys, alhamdulillah, they didn't know much about Islam, but just engaging with them, alhamdulillah, they took a copy of the Quran. May Allah, may guide them by reading it, inshallah.
And already our culture is changing. In Khan's Islamist London, on the tube, women now stand as the men sit, prompting Kiara Diss to rage, call me crazy, but once upon a time, British men would offer their seat to a woman on public transport. The imported generation of men do not share those same values. This scene epitomizes that statement. Watch.
London too. Women nowadays are standing, men sitting.
But of course, even more concerning is the actual violent attacks on our women. Look at this. Bridgerton star Genevieve Chenoir was attacked overnight in central London again, just months after this incident where her phone was stolen. And she is completely traumatized by what went down. Watch. Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show.
Literally 5 minutes before my audition, I was walking around the corner in Oxford Circus, and this guy just looks at me and targets me and hits me, and I'm against the wall, and I was literally right about to arrive for my audition, so I've had to come in, and I'm trying to gather myself, but I'm so shaken because obviously I had that phone attack happen to me, and it's so nerve-wracking for me being out in central London now, and I just got my confidence up and was looking at moving back, and he just he literally I couldn't walk anywhere, he was just looking at me and he just hit me.
And that follows an almost identical violent attack on my friend, the TV presenter Kirsty Gallagher, in London just last month.
And I noticed this guy all in black, covered up actually, just walking at me, and I'm always vigilant, and he was just walking towards me, and I thought, this is not right. So I moved out of the way, and then he brushed past me, he turned around and he kicked me like he was kicking a football. He kicked me in the middle of a street at about 7 o'clock last night in front of people.
And I mean, this is our life now. A life where it is now impossible to walk the streets of Khan's London without being mugged. I mean, it's happened to me twice, with another attempt by 2 Islamists on the back of a motorbike. Some locals now have just had enough. They're fighting back.
On here. Oh shit, got a knife in me. Oh shit, big bully out here. Big bully outside. Oh shit. Come on. Come on, son. Oh shit.
But of course, when the late, great West London bin man Wayne Broadhurst attempted to stop a violent incident involving an Afghan illegal who arrived here on the back of a lorry, that cretin stabbed him to death. I think what's so disturbing is the suicidal empathy of young hard leftists who are completely unaware that it is their future under threat because of Islam. So I want to show you these idiots at the LSE in London yesterday, who were actually celebrating the political assassination of Charlie Kirk as Turning Point UK attempted to host a peaceful, open discussion. As Turning Point activist, the very brave young Bob wrote, physically assaulted at the Turning Point stand on the LSE campus. We were simply trying to debate. Yet several masked men kept approaching throughout, doing everything they could to shut down a fair discussion. This is the state of tolerance at our universities. And to be honest, I think what's actually just most important is that you see these horrific scenes. Watch.
You arrest women! Fuck you! So, lady, they shouldn't be allowed. You're on camera. That's my property, my friend. Oh.
I think we should stay here just to see what happens. Well, this is fun. Well, I honestly think that if they're just going to do this, I think it's fine. Well, listen, I'm not going to fall into intimidation. If it is literally just a couple of ballied students, I'm not going to do anything physically, however I can handle it. You're legitimizing this understanding that they can just do this. I think you're stepping on my property, so I would ask that you don't do that. But look, the low IQ chimps, the ones that are unfortunately, you know...
Please do not call people that.
Well, don't protest the speaking event. So, for the intimidating woman with a belly on, do you want to speak on why... Yes.
The one you're tolerating? Off of campus. Be a traditional man and stop being afraid of women.
Pardon? Well, this is good fun. Section 14 of the Public Order Act. So not dispersing during a protest, and it was given a no further action. How am I a doxer? What women have I harassed? Find me the woman. What woman have I harassed? Pardon? That is my real name. That was just a stage name I used to go by, but my real name is very publicly open to the public. I've said it on many occasions. My name is Gregory Thomas Mackay Moffat, but I go by Young Bob.
This is what we're trying to do.
So look, yeah, and get NFA'd again. So look, I'm not trying to be petty here. It seems like you are. I'm just trying to engage in a genuine discussion.
We do not engage with Nazis. We do not engage with fascists. Fascists are on campus.
Why?
Fascists are on campus. We do not engage with fascists.
Yeah, I'll try to. However, I think it's fair to try and have a discussion with these people. Well, because I have respect for my elders, unlike you people.
Doesn't that just sum it up? Just sums it up. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for young Bob. I think he's the British heir apparent to Charlie Kirk. But I think it's just shocking that in this context, the elite class still tried to justify the absolute dire state of Khan's London. Watch this from GB News. But first, as we get older, you notice it. After a cold day, hard workout, even a long week, recovery just isn't as quick as it used to be, right? That bounce back factor matters. And it turns out the secret isn't luck, it's stem cells, your body's built-in repair crew. With age, that system slows down. Fewer cells, weaker signals, slower recovery. That's exactly why Qualia created Qualia Stem Cell. Think of it this way. Your cells are powerful. Qualia Stem Cell helps keep them that way. It's crafted with nature's heavy lifters, sea buckthorn royal jelly, and more to support your body's natural repair system so you can keep moving, healing, and thriving. You don't have to accept slowing down. This is about supporting better aging by reactivating the systems that help you bounce back. And it's refreshingly simple. You take it just 4 days a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com/Dan. And here's a bonus. Use the code Dan for an additional 15% off your order. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do it that better. And a big thanks, by the way, to Qualia for sponsoring this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show.
What's the issue with Whitechapel? A lot of people would say not a lot of white people. Is that what you're going for?
No,
what's the issue?
It's not about
with
skin
Whitechapel?
colour. If you come out, I'll tell you what, you come out of Whitechapel Station, my family's from the East End.
Yeah.
You could be anywhere in South Asia, okay? Because...
So what is it about? It's not skin colour, what is it?
No, it's about language, and it's about businesses that are not essentially British. And
so
if
businesses that aren't British, what do you mean?
If I could move, say I moved to Whitechapel, I find it hard to find a pub. Now, there used to be on every corner. So not just because of the economy, but because the culture and the demographics have changed there.
Do you believe in free markets?
You could walk from one end of Whitechapel to the other and not hear someone speak English. Is that protecting our culture, yes or no, Sebastian?
Do you believe in free markets?
Yes.
Well then... Well, then you'll be defending their right to open whatever businesses they want to serve the customers they have.
We're talking about the erosion of British culture. Has that happened in Whitechapel, yes or no?
No, I don't think it has.
That's ridiculous.
Because that culture has evolved. Because we're not Normans or Saxons anymore, we're modern Britons.
You're not speaking English, Sebastian.
I don't speak English in my household. Am I less British as a result?
No, but you're speaking English now.
Yes, and they all speak English as well.
I mean, the fact that leftist thinks that's some type of gotcha moment. As for Khan himself, he is that ultimate champagne socialist, right? Ignoring destruction at home to swan around the world on private jets, be wined and dined on super yachts. As Chris Rose pointed out, Sadiq Khan went on an £83,000 taxpayer-funded jolly to Africa with an entourage of 11 staff. He also flew business class. Mr. Eco racked up around 258 tonnes of carbon emissions over the 4-day trip, more than 22 times the average accrued by a UK family over an entire year. And look at his arrogance when he was challenged on this.
For the last 9 years, all you've done is moan and whine and say that it's always someone else's fault for the things that you have to do. But possibly one of the budget savings you could have made was the cost of your Africa trip, which cost the taxpayer £83,000. You took an entourage of 11 staff to South Africa alone. Can you explain, by the way, this was on business class, so good for you. I hope they took care of you on the flight. Can you explain why such a large team was essential, or does streamlining only ever apply to everyone else's footprint but yours?
It's the role of the Mayor of London to champion the capital as an exceptional place to live, work, study and invest in. The purpose of the visit was to promote London, support growth.
So, look, I would say, Mr. Mayor, why did you have to go business class? Why did taxpayers have to fund your lavish trips in that way? Can't you fly with the rest of us normally?
Chair, a number of the legs of that trip were economy class.
Did you fly business class, yes or no?
One of the legs was business class, I think, Chair. I'm trying to find out, trying to get the table. I'm more than happy to say it, so let me find it now. 1 second.
Well, look, I'll leave it there, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much.
A truly pathetic man. I mean, some are now challenging what's going on in the elite class. I do want to give them credit for that. So shout out to the Tory MP Nick Timothy, who is now campaigning against what he knows is an Islamist takeover.
Islamist leaders or Islamist preachers or street organisers or whatever, they obviously make threats about the future of this country, about foreign policy, often about Jewish people, often about other minorities as well, like Hindus or gay people or whatever. And we talk about it often in terms of the threat they pose to us, collectively as a country. But one of the other things that's happened is that the mainstream in politics and the media and the public services have allowed these people to dominate public discourse about what it is to be a Muslim in this country.
Yes.
So they are actually giving the wrong impression of a lot of opinion in the Muslim population here. But we're allowing them to say within that population that they're the ones with the power, and actually don't speak up if you just want to get on with your life and raise your family and get a good job and do well for yourself, because they're the ones who are in charge and they're the ones who the authorities listen to.
Two others who get it are Will Kingston, the Australian commentator, host of the Aussie Spectator podcast, and the former Australian Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. This is an important conversation. Watch.
The demographics of our more recent immigration intake have seen a large increase in people coming from Islamic countries.
Yeah.
Many people in this country are uncomfortable with that. How do you feel about that demographic shift? And do you think that it undermines that form of multiculturalism that you talk about in the book as being largely successful in the post-war era?
Well, you raise, I think, a very important question. How compatible is Islam with modern Western liberal democracy? And I think the truthful answer is not very. I don't think that means we stop taking immigrants who happen to be Muslim. What I think it means is that we should be very keen to ensure that all of our migrants are only too well aware of our expectation that they will be joining Team Australia, and also our expectation that for all the diversity of modern Australia, we have a core Anglo-Celtic culture and we have a fundamental Judeo-Christian ethos.
But there should be so many more, given the urgent threat we are facing. But instead, they spend most of their time attacking Tommy Robinson, whose life, by the way, is in constant danger. So look at this. Again, virtually ignored by the mainstream media. This is the Birmingham rapper Twister Cheese, otherwise known as Omar Ibrazak. He was recently jailed for making threats against Tommy Robinson, but has now been jailed for attacking a petrol station with a flamethrower. He told a shopkeeper, "I'm a terrorist. I will kill you." Now, after being arrested, he admitted what he had done, saying, "Allah told me to do that." So this man has made direct threats against Tommy Robinson. Watch him here.
Yeah, so my head's about to explode. So I went like that. So what did I do? My mom and dad was in Hajj this time. Guess what? I swear to God, I just felt something. Hold back like that. Yeah. I heard the deep inner voice in me, with a manly voice, said "A'udu." So in my heart, I said, "Billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim." That translates in English.
Yeah.
Oh Allah, I see gravities from the devil. When I said that, light come from the sky.
Yeah.
Bro, made me blind. My eyes are hurting. I tried to cover my eyes with my arms. My eyes are still hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the light disappeared, I read Wolf on Fire. Foof, dropped on the floor. Yeah. With black eyes. Look at me like that. And then it's with a noise. Like 1 second from here to there. Woof.
Just gone.
Like magic.
It really is time to start protecting and stop attacking Tommy Robinson, who is doing all he can to halt what is now a chilling Islamist takeover of the disunited kingdom. Now, Paul Thorpe is here. Paul, so great to have you on Outspoken today. I mean, it is astonishing, isn't it, when you look at the Islamist threat, so clearly a threat targeted at Tommy Robinson, yet just this week, you still see the people who actually should be protecting patriots, for example, the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, actively attacking Tommy in Parliament, thereby, I would argue, encouraging that type of violence against him.
Yeah, exactly, Dan. Thank you as always, by the way. It's a pleasure to be back. As always, Dan, you know, we have to put up with the same old pathetic rhetoric from the same old pathetic culprits. I'm afraid it's time that everyone opened their eyes and saw what's clearly going on right in front of our very eyes, week in, week out, by the usual suspects. As time goes by, we are seeing people slowly but surely waking up, but the gaslighting of the nation continues and continues at a pace.
It really does. But the thing is, Paul, don't you think there are sometimes these moments, and I sort of describe them as crossover moments, where actually people start realizing this isn't a political thing. And I think there was one of them with this Bridgerton actress, right? Genevieve Chenoir. Yeah. And Tommy has actually posted on that in the past few hours, writing, Bridgerton actress Genevieve Chenoir breaks down as she is attacked in London for a second time. No description of the attackers, of course. We all know she wasn't attacked by an Englishman. And the thing is, Paul, she's an actress. You know, she's probably on the woke side of things. But at the end of the day, no one is safe. And this is the real world impact. And I think it's becoming harder for the mainstream media and people like James O'Brien and Fraser Nelson to say, oh, this is just far right thugs like us, right, Paul, like you and me, who are just making this up for political reasons. I mean, what, are you going to say this about Genevieve Chenoir?
Yeah. I mean, look, Dan, I mean, obviously I've got sympathy for the young lady. You know, it's a horrible, horrible thing that's taken place. But I'm afraid that some of these people, Dan, they just won't open their eyes until they are victims. And even then, you know, we saw our mutual friend Liam Tufts interviewing a guy down in Crowborough recently saying, you know, what if this was your daughter? And he's like, well, if it is, it is. For me, it's a mental issue. Almost, it's like a virus that's spread through certain parts of the nation. Watching those individuals with young Bob, totally and utterly incapable of even holding the most basic conversation. It's an illness.
It really is. I think young Bob is doing incredible work, though, right? I mean, super impressed by him. Brave guy.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a very brave young man. I think what you said is correct, is the heir apparent. And, you know, look, I worry about him because he's a young man. He's, you know, physically not the biggest guy in the world. And I hope everyone looks after him and keeps their eye on him at these events. But, you know, the way the police are, I was watching a video earlier in the week in the way in which police dealt with Antifa down in Bristol, messing around, you know, patacake with these masked thugs. By the way, there was a section in place, I believe, that banned face coverings. The police just ignored that, let them get away with it, in stark contrast to the way in which they treat patriots at our events, where the riot helmets are on, the batons are out, and the riot shields, when there's not even any trouble, but they treat these people with kid gloves and they wonder why they continue to do it and to get away with it.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.